All right, we're joined by now UFC light heavyweight Austen Lane. Austin, how's it going, man?
I'm casual, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Like, we'll just start there. Like, light heavyweight. When did this kind of is this something you thought about for a while, or when did this kind of think like, yeah, I could make 205?
Nah, man, it's not something I really thought about for a while. Basically what happened was I had to have surgery after my last fight. And I was sidelined for a little bit. So, in doing that, knowing how I operate, knowing who I am as a person, I have to be working towards something. If I'm not working towards something, if I'm on the shelf, I get in my own head. I'm not the best person that I can be. I'm not the best father that I can be. So, when I was on the shelf, I was thinking of, all right, well, I can't really move around like I want to. What are some things that I can work towards that I can have like kind of dangle in front of me, and have some goals? And it started out being like, all right, well, let me see if I can drop a couple pounds, see what that looks like. So I started doing that, changed my diet up a little bit, and then it turned into, all right, let me go out and try to make 205 and let me see if I can do that. And it kind of just branched from there. And lo and behold, it hasn't been that hard of a journey so far.
Have you done like a test cut to try to get like close to a 5 as possible or anything like that, or you
I
just
mean, I played around with it, but
yeah,
obviously I've brought on a great team to help me out with this whole process. And basically what it comes down to, man, that's obviously putting the work in, it's being disciplined. And I think I specialize in those two things. So needless to say, I'm below where I should actually be right now. And this is the best I've ever felt in a camp.
I know a lot of football players, like you see, like offensive and defensive linemen, once they retire, they drop a lot of weight because it is a lot
Mhm.
of work just kind of keeping that weight up. Like, is that something like you kind of look back on your playing days? Like, it is kind of easier to get rid of this weight because for so long you're probably just eating whatever you could just to maintain that
Yeah.
weight.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially like the way my journey went, right? Because back when I played, like you had to be a defensive end that weighed like 270 pounds, right? Like
Mhm.
nowadays, you see defensive ends are allowed to weigh a little less because it's more about speed than it is kind of holding the anchor and holding the line of scrimmage down. So, yeah, I mean, I look back on it, man, because like when I went to Kansas City, so I get cut from Jacksonville, I go to Kansas City and I'm playing 3-4 defensive end, which means I had to put
Mhm.
on another like 30 pounds in like 2 months. So obviously not, wasn't like the cleanest weight or anything, but long story short, man, yeah. If I could go back and do it again, I'd probably play like outside linebacker and be a little lighter because just like the way that my body feels, the inflammation, everything. It's like I said, this is the best camp I've ever felt.
Going out to England, like, was this something you wanted, like, to go out of the country? Or is this just kind of what they offered you?
It's kind of what they offer me, man, but at the same time, I'm all for it, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a very cool venue. Crowd's gonna be electric, and anytime you get a chance to kind of, travel the world and and just kind of do that for work, why not? And I would much rather fight in front of a crowd than I would at the Apex,
Mhm.
where it's a little more quieter, man. So as soon as I got the fight offer, man, I was excited.
I know you're not fighting an English guy, but you're fighting a European, so I imagine the crowd will be on his side. So, like, are you kind of already envision like getting the booze and all that stuff on the walkout?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know diplomatic relations between Poland and the UK. I mean, maybe they're cool and everything. I'm not sure, man. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of played it out both ways. The song that I'm coming out to might cater to the English crowd a little bit. We'll just say that much. And it wasn't even like by design. It was more of I want to pick a song kind of in tribute to my grandmother, and I used to sing this song all the time in her. I'm not gonna tell what it is, but I used to sing. There was two songs I had kind of in my mind I wanted to do, and they were both songs that when she used to drive me to school in her old Ford, didn't have a CD player, tape player, obviously, so we just had the radio. And there was two songs I used to always sing on my way to school with her. So I picked the song that the British fans would probably like a little more. So whether they boo me, man, whether they cheer me, it's energy, and energy can be used to your advantage if you know how to channel it. So that's what I'm excited for. But obviously, it's all background noise, right? The biggest thing is the focus in front of me and my opponent in front of me as well.
What is training camp looking like at 205? Like, is it a lot more cardio, or just like is it the diet change? Like, what is kind of different compared to your
Yeah,
last
I
time you
mean,
played?
honestly, man, it's not so much snacking at night, which is all good.
Mhm.
It's probably it is a little more cardio. It's a little less of the ego in the weight room, which has actually been super beneficial to me. And this is, I mean, hell, I've been in this game now, the fight game, for what, 10 plus years, and it's finally starting to dawn on me like I don't have to lift heavy every single day like I did in football, simply because like my baseline strength hasn't gone anywhere. Like even though I'm dropping on at 205, I'm still as strong as I ever have, and I still go with heavy weights and I do just fine there. So um, this camp has been different from that aspect, but it's also been different now because I'm training a lot more in Orlando and I'm training in Jacksonville. And I think that's also been a huge benefit for me. I'm getting a lot more, you know, one-on-one focus from some great coaches with some great minds and everything. So it is a little refreshing to, because I'm always going to be an athlete first. There's athletes, there's fighters, there's MMA martial artists, right? And I try to be all three, but I start out as an athlete. So we're really approaching this camp like I'm an athlete, right? Like I need the one-on-one time to slow things down a little bit, to really take video of your technique, see what needs to be improved, see what I'm doing well and everything, really just break everything down, then obviously break my opponent down as well. So couldn't have been happier with this camp so far. Couldn't be happier with how I'm feeling, man. And I'm ready to put out performance March 21st.
You bringing anyone special for this camp, or just kind of whoever's in the gym?
I'm at Fusion,
Yep.
and then I'm all around Jacksonville, man, with some great fighters there. Jacksonville's kind of got they got a couple UFC fighters as well. So I mean, bro, I've been getting with everybody, whether it's UFC fighters, whether there's amateurs, pros, like there's a bunch of guys that I'm getting great work in with, and I'm super thankful for that.
Your opponent, like, how familiar are you with them? Like, obviously, his debut was kind of wild. Like, both of them kept on getting hurt against each other. Like, contender series, quick knockout. Like, it seemed pretty similar to like Robellis, where like this guy was just finishing everyone early, but like you don't really know what he's like if you kind of extend him. Like, do you see some
Yeah.
comparisons between them?
Yes and no. Obviously, Robellis is based off of, and that's a guy I've been getting some sparring in with too. Shout out to Robellis, man. He's a great dude. He trains sometimes in Orlando. Obviously, karate combat champion right now. So it was good to get some working with him again, man. I hadn't seen him in a while, but with Robellis, obviously, it's based off his size
Mhm.
and um, trying to close distance, right? And he's got a lethal right hand. So with my opponent Marinsky, he likes the right hand, but it's not like, in terms of his size and stature, like he's not a freak of nature per se, but he's very persistent. Dude's got a heart on him, dude's got a chin on him, like won't stop coming at you. And that's the difference. And also, he is a judo black belt. He does have takedowns. He has gone to the ground before a little bit. He sets up a great job of faking the takedown and coming back up top with his right. So those are all things that got to be taken into consideration. But it's funny because I knew of him even before the fight got announced, simply because his last fight against Ebo Aslan, Ebo's my dude, man. We used to train together a lot in Las Vegas. So I was watching that fight very closely when that fight went down and everything. So, fighting a former teammate, a dude I consider a friend and everything, he was already kind of on my radar.
What's fight week gonna look like now that you actually have to cut some weight and do everything? Like, I know when I talk to heavyweights, a lot of them, like, especially when they go into different cities, they kind of go explore because they don't have to focus on the weight cut. Like, is fight week gonna be a lot different then for you?
Probably not too different, man. We're still gonna go out and explore. Obviously there's gonna be a focus now on the weight cut and everything, but once again, I mean, we've took every single precaution, we've checked every single box, so I'm expecting a very breezy. Well, I know it's not gonna be easy, right? I mean, I'm
Mm.
I'm coming down from heavyweight, so like weight cuts do suck, and I already have in my mind it's gonna be like one of the hardest I've ever done. Even though I've kind of got reassurance from my circle and everything, who's kind of monitoring this, like, man, the where your weight's at right now and how you're approaching this whole thing, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. So I look forward to touring the UK a little bit, seeing some sights. I mean, maybe I probably won't see a football game or anything like that, man. But I'm just gonna go, check out everything and see how they do it over there.
You don't have to say the weight or anything, but is there like an ideal like target of like on fight night, I want to get back up to like X amount of weight? Like, is that part of it too?
Yes and no. I think that the biggest thing is I would rather have it be an easier weight cut than have the ego of, well, I have to get back up to like 235,
Yeah.
240. by the time fight night happens. Just because I already feel like I do have a size advantage against my opponent. You know, he's on the shorter side, 6 feet, 6'1". I have the reach advantage, and I know my strength's there regardless, right? So it's not like I have to have this ego thing where I need to get back up to 230, 240. Even though, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see how my body responds. The biggest thing is trying to make the cut as easy as possible. So when I go in the cage, I'm as close to as 100% as possible. That to me is the most important part.
Do you feel like any added pressure just coming off 2 losses going into this one, or do you not really pay much attention or, like, care about that? You just kinda take a fight at a time?
Nah, man. I honestly don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I understand, like, yeah, I can be cut at any time, right? needs guys that are going to win. They need guys going to get knockouts, right? So I understand what's at stake, and I understood what was at stake when I fought Robellis, where if I would have lost that fight in retrospect, I would have been cut, right? So the pressure and everything, it's nothing new to me, man. As far as I look at it, this is an experience to go across in front of a great fan base. Thankfully, I think I get to fight at night there. It's not in the morning, so I'm
Mhm.
pretty pumped up about that. But it's an opportunity to showcase what I've learned at a new way, and it's a brand new playground to have fun in, man. So no, I'm not really concerned of the aftermath of everything. All I'm concerned right now is my opponent and what we need to do to get the job done.
Uh, I know England's not, like, a huge flight or time difference, but have you talked to some people just, like, kinda how to deal with, like, the weight cut on the plane and, like, how to kind of adjust as quickly as possible?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially because if you follow the Jaguars, they go to England twice a
Yeah.
year for their games, right? So, kind of talking to some people from that side of things, kind of how they operate, even though it's going to be different because they go out there and they're there for like 2 days, right? I'm gonna be out there for about a week. But no, I mean, we like I said, I have a great team in terms of my nutrition and everything. Shout out to Dawn, who's like my lead nutritionist. She's been nothing but a godsend in terms of just making sure everything's structured, everything's planned out because I'm a very detailed oriented person. So yeah, we're gonna have the game plan already for the flight. And everything like that. Maybe I'll get to enjoy a little something on the plane, just like where my weight's at right now. But no, as far as the travel's concerned and everything, I'm not too concerned about the whole weight thing.
How do you think the power is gonna translate, like, just, like, cutting that much weight? Like, do you still think like, do you kinda still feel in training that it's the same?
I mean, you can ask my training partners if you want, man, but power hasn't left. Speed's gone up, and movement has definitely gone up, but uh, power is still there. And now I feel like I'm a lot more fluid with everything, and cardio just feels great, man. It's like I said, like watching me now, because obviously I record everything. Like watching me now spar, and then compared to when I was a heavyweight, it was like, huh, I don't know what the hell I was doing at heavyweight, man. Because I feel like 205 is kind of where I belong now.
Do you worry about speed? Like, 'cause he is obviously, like, a lighter 205 or he
Mhm.
is fast, like, I know it is a bit different, but, like, you kinda mentioned there, your speed's gone up, like, so is that not a concern then for you either?
No, man. No, no, not really. Simply because like, and this is what I got my start. Like I was always sparring guys that were smaller than me. And then that were like great boxers with great hands. And that's what I'm still going through, right? So, as far as the speed factor is concerned, I mean, the best thing to neutralize speed if it gets out of control is your feints, is your movement, is my length. And those are things that need to be utilized in order to get my hand raised. So, no, I mean, watching film on him, obviously something that comes down straight compared to something that comes down wide and an overhand is going to be a lot quicker. So watching what my opponent likes to do, watching his tendencies, talking to some of his past opponents, I have a pretty good idea of what he's going to try to do and how we can counter off that.
I know you said you feel a lot better 205, like, is this something you wish you did a lot sooner? Or do you think this is kind of the perfect time and, like, you kinda needed those learning experiences and kinda lessons of before?
Yeah, no, man. I think it's the perfect time. I don't live in a world of, hey, what would have happened if I would have did this or did this sooner? That nah, man. Like, this is life. This is what it is now. And what better time than now? I think all the roads that I've taken, some great, some really shitty, but I think the roads that I took to get to this point all led me here, man, and I'm super thankful for it. So I think that this is the best time in my life right now to be at 205, 206 pounds.
Just a couple more things, like, should be a pretty exciting fight for however long it lasts, like, how do you kinda see it playing out?
Yeah, it's gonna play out how it's gonna play out, man. You know, I don't like making predictions
Yeah.
and everything, but like I said, we have a great game plan put into place. We've really been dialing some pretty cool things in, and you're gonna see some things that you probably haven't seen before from me that I'm really excited to showcase. You know, to me, when the opportunity presents itself, it's my job to capitalize on it, and there will be opportunities that will present themselves. So whether that's in the first round, whether that's second or third round, man. I mean, I have the cardio to go all three. I have the power to go one. So we'll see how it plays out.
And since the last time you fought, they kind of up the bonuses, like 100 grand now, flat 25 grand. We get a finish. Like, does that add some excitement too? Or you can make a lot of extra money just by getting a finish or impressive win.
Hell yeah, man. I'm sure my yeah, because I need a new pair of shoes, man. I'm looking at my Vans right now. They're kind of banged up a little bit, so new pair of Vans would be pretty sweet. Yeah, maybe have it to take a trip with my son or something like that. That'd be cool as well. But yeah, anytime that you add a little more money, a little more incentive to a great performance, especially a knockout. I mean, let's be honest, we're 205 pounds, and light heavyweights, heavyweights. If you connect with somebody, you should be able to knock them out, right? So that's an incentive to be the bigger guy, to be like, hey, there's a lot of money on the table for us. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully, we get a new pair of shoes out of it.
Just final thing, like, what is the goal for you this year? Like, first fight of the year in March, kind of set you up to have like a pretty active year, like probably 3 fights.
Yeah.
What is kind of the goal for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, my goal is March 21st to make my first appearance at 206 to set a precedent to get my hand raised. And then just go from there, man. But I love to stay active this year. Obviously, with the weight cutting and everything, you got to be smart about it. But I love to be active this year and get a few fights at 205 and really start to call that spot my home.
Actually, just one more quick thing. Always got to ask
What
you
you
the
got, man?
NFL. I'm a
Mhm.
big Bills fan. I was surprised at
Oh
how good
shit.
no, nothing. This isn't bad. I was surprised how
Okay.
good the Jaguars were this year. Like,
Yeah.
I did, and then they gave the Bills a good scare in the playoffs. Like,
Oh yeah,
did
man.
you expect them to be like this good in Cohen's first year as a coach and like kind of that turnaround? Because Trevor's always been a guy that's like, I think when he's on, he's one of the best, but it's been times
Correct.
where like he isn't on. Like, did this year kind of catch you by surprise, a Jaguars fan?
So this year definitely caught, I think, everybody by surprise for how great they were, and really achieved every single expectation, especially coming from a season previous where they won what 3 or 4 games or whatever like
Mhm.
that. So it's a testament to a couple of things. A testament to Liam Cohen, obviously. I think the biggest thing with Trevor Lawrence was for the first time in a long time, Trevor was held accountable. Right when Doug Peterson was here, when Urban Meyer was here, you just there was, I don't want to say there's a rip, but they weren't on the same page. You see Liam Cohen, who's like this fiery, this boisterous guy, and you see Trevor Lawrence, who's more calm, cool, and collected. But you see their relationship and how that coach is holding that player accountable. And in doing so, the player is learning, he's getting better. And that's what you saw that second part of the season with Trevor Lawrence. Now, in terms of can it remain consistent, right? I think it can, because I think there's been an expectation put forth now with Liam Cohen. I think it was a genius move to hire Tony Baselli as the executive vice president, a guy who knows what it means to be a Jacksonville Jaguar, to put that helmet on, to put that jersey on. So he's kind of doing like I want to say kind of like the culture building a little bit, like what types of dudes in the draft and free agency would be great Jaguars. And then you have James Gladstone, who's kind of like this up and coming prodigy, this young guy out of LA who does a lot of the same things that the LA Rams do in terms of how they draft, in terms of players that they pick. I think it's a trifecta of great success. And yeah, shout out to your Bills for taking care of business. I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought the Jaguars had that game. I was there, obviously. I was in one of the front rows cheering my butt off, man. But credit to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the best quarterback, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for a reason. And when you're throwing to Brandon Cooks and Keon Coleman and you're getting the job done in the 2 minute drill, that shows you all you need to know about what kind of quarterback Josh Allen is. And I'm excited to see what he does with Joe Brady now.
Mhm.
Right? Joe Brady's the head coach
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that relationship's going to go. Just because I had a lot of respect for Sean McDermott, man. I thought in terms of culture, I thought he really fit that city well. Now you're getting a guy in Joe Brady, a little different wrinkle, but I really feel like the players are going to respond well to Joe Brady. It seems like he came in that first press conference and he has those players' backs, and especially now when you talk about the modern NFL player, it's all about players wanting to feel appreciated, players wanting to feel useful. And I think Joe Brea will do a good job of getting that out of his players.
Well, Austin, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, Shelton, man, you stay casual. We'll see you down the road, brother.